everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am now home from our 4.5 week Europe trip. We had the best time and I'm really excited to catch up with you all. However, I will save that for this weekend's vlog. That way I can do a big catch up. I can share with you everything else I bought. I bought some leather goods in Italy. I bought a heap of skincare. I also have a bunch of souvenirs. Plus I want to give the house and my life a little bit of a reset. So I'm going to leave that all for the vlog. But today I thought we'd kick it off with a good old bag review. So if you watched my last video, you would have seen me unbox this beautiful Longchamp Le Pliage small travel bag, and since then I have used it a couple of times. I did a couple of internal flights, plus I did the long haul flight home. So I thought I would share my experience with the bag, pros and cons, just all the details and everything you need to know, because I know it's hard to find reviews of this bag on YouTube. So let's get straight into it and start off with the details of the bag. It is made from a recycled polyamide canvas with an inside coating. The leather trimming is a Russian cowhide leather. It's really nice and thick, such a nice color as well. I feel like it complements all the different colored bags within this range. The hardware on this bag, you do have, let me just grab it. You've got the gold snap fastening here, and then the zip is actually like a dark silver or gunmetal color. I don't know why they've done that. If anyone knows why they have two different colored hardwares on one bag, please let me know. Surely there has to be a reason for it, because all of the other zips in the Le Pliage range is also gold, so it matches. So the weight of this bag is only 392 grams. So lightweight, and it folds down. This is actually the little Ziploc bag it came in. So when I'm not using it, I fold it down, put it in my check-in luggage, and it takes up no more space than a t-shirt. The volume of this bag is 30 liters, so you can fit so much. They do have a bigger size than this. This is the small. I believe they also have a medium. But the lady at the Longchamp store did say that some customers have said that the medium through some airlines won't go through as carry-on and they have to check it in. So it's safest to go with the small bag if you are wanting to use it as carry-on. The handle drop of this bag is 9 centimeters, so it is a top handle. They don't have the long handle available. I really hope they do in future. I actually noticed a lady at the airport had this bag and it had a longer handle, so I don't know if that was an older style. The dimensions of the bag is 45 centimeters at the base. You've got 35 centimeters in height and then 23 centimeters in width. There are two internal pockets, one small and one large, just on the sides, which I love. It means you've got full free space in the middle. And the price of this in Australia is $330. I will put some pricing conversions on the screen for you. Sorry if my chair's squeaking. I'm literally on the edge of my chair because Remy is wrapped around the back of me. Her and I have been inseparable since I've come home. I've just missed her so much. Pros of this bag. I absolutely love how lightweight it is, already mentioned that. I absolutely love how much you can fit. Just when you think you've got everything in there, there's just so much more space. Another pro of this bag is the fact that it's a very minimal design. So when I was going through the airports, train stations, I didn't feel like it was flashy, so I wasn't drawing any attention. And that was something I was very aware of when we went to Europe. Is I had heard so many horror stories of people's luggage being stolen and women being targeted for their designer items. So I feel like if you still want a really nice, beautiful bag from a nice brand, but you don't want to draw too much attention, this is such a great option. The other pro of this bag is I find it incredibly durable. I know that these are notorious for corner wear. However, I am quite gentle with my bags, and maybe I just haven't had my Le Pliages for long enough to see corner wear, but it is something I'm also mindful of. But at this stage, I find these bags incredibly durable, and whenever I've had any dust or marks on them, I simply just have to wipe it down. It's not like leather or anything where you have to be super careful. So they're the pros. Now the cons of this bag, there's only two. I've already mentioned them. The different color of hardware, which again, it doesn't affect the functionality of the bag, and it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. That's just if I'm being pedantic. And then the other con would of course be the top handle option. So again, if this was longer and I could sling it on my shoulder, that would be so much better. I did manage in the airport to slide it onto my shoulder. After maybe 20 minutes, it definitely started to get uncomfortable, so I would just bring it down to my side or in the crook of my arm. But I just feel like because you can fit so much in here, having it in the crook of your arm, it's a little bit too heavy. So you do need to have it down by your side, but I don't know about anyone else. When I'm walking with a top handle down by my side, it gets in the way. So if I could throw it on my shoulder, that would be perfect. I am still considering the option of adding some little rivets on the end leather tags here and adding a crossbody strap. So that's the details of the bag and the pros and cons. And my overall experience, I would say, is amazing. I absolutely love this bag. I'm surprised I didn't own it sooner, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone that is looking for a lightweight, foldable travel bag. I saw so many people using them at the airports. I never really saw this bag before, but I feel like once you have either something on your wish list or you recently purchased something, you start to see it everywhere. And both men and women were carrying this and it looked great. So keep this in mind as a Christmas gift idea, because I know when it comes to Christmas, it's hard to think of gifts for people. So if you know someone that travels a lot, this would be a great gift idea. Oh, I feel like I need to take a breath. Sorry if I've just unloaded a bunch of information on you. So now that I've gone through that, let's go through my 10 flight essentials and what I would recommend for a long haul flight, because to be honest guys, they're still all in here. I haven't really unpacked everything yet. So the first essential I have is my water bottle. I never took water bottles to airports in the past because I know you can't get water through the security. However, I just emptied this before I went through, and then once I was through security, I would fill it up at either the airport, because they do have a lot of drinking water taps, or I would buy a large bottle of water and just fill it up, because this keeps it cold and I just drink so much more water if it's out of the sippy straw. The next item is of course a travel pillow. So guys, I feel like I don't want to be bitter about long haul flights in this video. I think everyone knows they're not nice, but I am still just like getting over it and how bad it is. I tried so hard to romanticize it this time. I had face masks with me. I had my laptop to try and do some YouTube editing. I really tried to prepare myself, but at the end of the day, it was just a terrible time for me. I just cannot sleep in those chairs. I feel like I have to be completely horizontal to sleep, probably like most people. And when you don't sleep, the domino effect it has on your mood, how you feel. Whenever I'm fatigued, I feel really unwell. So then I don't want to eat, and yeah. Anyway, let's just get back to the essentials. So yeah, I have my travel pillow. I did a little bit of research because I've had a few different ones over the years, and I opted for this one because not only does it fold down to a really nice little size, because you do have to think, once you arrive in your destination, you then have to carry this travel pillow everywhere you go in your luggage. So if you can get one that folds down quite nicely, that's always the best option. It is a memory foam. So once you pull it out, it puffs right up, very squishy, very comfortable. And something that I loved about this is you've got Velcro here. So you can put it around your neck and you can kind of adjust it to the size you need. So I don't actually wear my pillow like this at the base of my neck and rest like that. I actually Velcroed it around like my mouth, like this, and it felt way cozier and my neck was far more supported that way. So thank God for this Velcro part, because without that I wouldn't have been able to kind of secure it in place. So these in combination made me feel really comfortable. I didn't think an eye mask would make much of a difference, but I thought, you know what, I'll throw it in. But it did. Once I put it on, it did block out more light, and I kind of forgot that I was on a plane. Other than the rest of my body being completely uncomfortable, I definitely would suggest taking an eye mask. Sticking with the comfort theme, we have Bose headphones. So if you're like me and you can't afford a business class upgrade, this is the next best thing, because although they are, I think these were around $250 or $300, it's definitely worth buying a pair if you have a long haul flight, because they block out so much sound. I am that person that when I'm booking long haul flight tickets, I check what plane we're flying. Are we flying an Airbus A380 or are we flying a Boeing 777? Because that makes a difference. So the Airbus A380s are obviously the biggest ones. In my experience, there's less turbulence and it's way quieter because obviously it's bigger. So that was much nicer and I didn't notice the sound as much. However, there was one 13-hour flight where we were on the Boeing 777 and they're just so much louder. So to be honest, I left these on the whole flight because even when you're not watching a movie or listening to music, it still cancels out that sound. So yeah, I had these on, my neck pillow and my eye mask, and I was just like in my own little world. If you have these, definitely get yourself one of the little adapters so you can plug it into the screen on the plane, so that way you can still use these whilst watching movies, because if you don't have that adapter, then you have to use the headphones that they give you and they don't block out any sound. The next item is a travel wallet. So I actually use my Louis Vuitton Pierre Magenta as my travel wallet this time. So I use this for so many different purposes. I've used it as a notebook, I use it as a cash stuffing wallet, and then this time I thought it would be perfect for my passport. So my passport just slides in there so easily. In this side I had Ryan's passport, so that way when we checked into flights or we checked into accommodation, they said, you know, when they wanted our ID, I just had to pull this out and had both of our travel documents, both of our passports and everything we needed in one place. I also inserted a little Ziploc envelope, and in here I had coins and some cash as well, so that was really handy. And then in this side you've got card slots, so I obviously have my ID and my bank cards. So I absolutely loved using this as my wallet. The next item is of course charging cords. Make sure you bring these on with you on the flight and don't leave them in your check-in luggage. So I had a larger case with like my laptop charger and everything in my check-in luggage, and then in here I just had all of my iPhone cord, Kindle cords, things like that. So I used my orderly cord clamps for all of my cords. I had about 6 of them. They just kept all of my cords neat and tidy, and I honestly think that these little cord clamps are like my favorite thing that I sell on my Etsy store. So a little pouch with all of your charging cables and cords is an absolute must. A small item definitely worth mentioning is a pen, because when you arrive in a new country, they'll hand out declaration cards and you'll need to fill it out. So they do often, the air hostesses will come around with pencils if you need one, or a pen, but they often don't have enough and then you're waiting for someone. So make sure you pack yourself a pen, and be aware that once you have one, everyone around you will be asking to borrow it. So I am so glad I packed my own. I also packed one for Ryan, so we were sorted. The next item is of course my Kindle. I bought this right before the trip because I knew I wanted to do some reading, but I didn't want to take a bunch of books. So I read about 4 or 5 books whilst we were away. Could you imagine if I actually carried 4 or 5 books? It just wouldn't work out. So I absolutely love my Kindle. Of course, if you don't have one, just pack a book, but it is nice to have an option to read other than like watching a movie. You get so sick of screen time, and this is also a really great way to kind of make you tired. Oh, it is just, I was looking for any kind of device to get me in the zone, to try and help me fall asleep, and reading was probably the best way to do that. We've got some compression socks. They usually give you compression socks on the flight, but I just take my own. These are actually running socks. But yeah, I love them. They're super tight and they just help with circulation and stop your feet, you know, going all puffy. We've then got a jumper. So of course it gets cold on the plane, and even when I wasn't cold, it was nice just to have something to lay over me. Again, they give you a pillow, they give you a blanket, but it is nice just to take your own hoodie, something that kind of smells like home, and you can just cuddle up to it. Last but not least, we have my Refresh hygiene pouch. So every 3 to 4 hours I would get up out of my chair, stretch my legs, go to the bathroom, and I would give myself a refresh. So in here we have things like toothbrush and toothpaste. So I usually take a manual toothbrush on the plane, but in my check-in luggage I'll take my electric one. I've got lip balm because your lips get very dry. I have wet wipes, so when I would go to the bathroom I would wipe under my armpits, I would wipe pretty much everywhere all over my body, and then once I'd done that I would reapply my deodorant. I then have a wide tooth comb. I love these because they don't make your hair frizzy, so I'd give my hair a brush, especially when you're wearing a neck pillow constantly and constantly moving it around, your hair gets so knotty. So pack yourself a comb. I have a face mask. So if you're feeling game enough and you want to give yourself that extra hydration, give yourself a face mask. It definitely helps to pass the time as well. We've got hand sanitizer. This was full when I left on the trip. I use this so much through the train stations, when we were going to airports. I am just so much, since COVID, so much more aware of germs. I've then got the Fisherman's Friends breath mints. I went through these. So if you're someone that gets anxious when traveling, these are great. I feel like it just keeps your mind busy by having one of these. If I was feeling anxious, I would put my noise cancelling headphones on. I downloaded a meditation playlist and I would have one of these, and it fully worked for me. It's never something that I really did in the past, listen to meditation music, but listening to like guided anxiety meditation, download a few episodes or podcasts of that before you go on a flight. If you are someone that gets anxious, it really does help. I've got spare underwear, so again every like 5 hours or so I would change my underwear. And then of course moisturizer. So I reapplied this so many times because yeah, your skin does tend to dry out. Something that I want to mention and was like my #1 self-care travel product was Hydrolyte. So I don't have any to show you because I actually used it all up, but they're kind of like that liquid IV stuff. So they're just little dissolvable tablets. I would put it in my water bottle with my water, and it just restores your body with all the electrolytes and just helps to keep you hydrated, especially if you're going on a summer holiday and you know you're going to spend a lot of time out in the sun and at the beach. To help stop you getting any kind of sunstroke, get yourself some liquid IV or Hydrolyte tablets because they're just the best. I feel like this bag would be perfect with a felt organizer. I don't know if anywhere does them that big. If not, I'll have to create my own and sell them on my Etsy store. If you didn't already know, I sell small, medium and large organizers on my Etsy store to fit all of the Le Pliage totes. So I'll link those below, and I'm back up and running. It was so nice. I honestly didn't think anyone would even notice that my Etsy store was closed whilst I was away. But when I reopened it when I got back, I was inundated with orders, which is just so exciting and just so lovely. So that's everything I wanted to mention in the video. If you have any questions at all about this particular bag, let me know in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them for you. I will link everything that I've mentioned in the description box below. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to think of all the things that I say at the end of the video. I will catch you all in my next video, in my next vlog, and we can just have a really nice chilled hangout. I am so excited for it. Until then, have a lovely week and I'll chat to you all then. Bye.